Ready to rumble.
Ready to rock.
I didn't know that we were doing a thing. Totally ready.
So Brazz can just edit that together and it'll seem like you were just 100% ready. Ready to rock.
Ready to rumble.
Totally ready.
Are we recording?
We're recording now, but so we immediately drink
Yes,
because
drink.
we're in
Wait,
front of the
one second.
microphones.
Okay, go.
Welcome to PolarisPort GHR, Gigantic Hamster Rectums. I'm Brazz, and joining me this time are Sisco,
Hello.
and once again, Adam.
Hello.
Ooh, suddenly far away.
Well, he ran across the room with that rectums line.
It did scare me.
So how are you two today?
I'm good, thanks.
I'm pretty good, yeah. Mostly chill. Well, I'm sweating because it's
I was going to say,
horrible in
there is
Dundee.
nothing chill about the weather. Well, as per usual, I give you both a free-to-play game. Give you a week to play it. A week, Adam. And
Yeah.
we're now here to discuss it and whether or not we'd recommend it to anyone. This time I had us all play Friday the 13th Killer Puzzle.
20 years ago, he drowned in Crystal Lake. Now, Jason is back.
Developed and published by Blue Wizard Digital, a developer set up by PopCap co-founder Jason Kapalka, Friday the 13th Killer Puzzle is a horror puzzle game, if you will. I also saw it referred to as a slider puzzle in various places, in which you play as the series' main antagonist Jason Voorhees, albeit a cutesy, chibi version, and have to figure out your way around small maps to violently murder all the hapless campers, prisoners, and New Yorkers. Oh, and space adventurers, all themed or based off various films in the Friday the 13th franchise. It was released earlier this year, 2018, on mobile platforms, iOS and Android, and on PC via Steam. It's free on all, but like most free-to-play titles, offers additional and in-app purchases. So, what did you guys think of Friday the 13th Killer Puzzle?
It was alright.
That's it. Thanks, everybody. It was alright.
It was entertaining for a few hours, and then I got really bored and gave up.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really disagree with that. That's pretty much my feeling. Is I think I got bored a lot quicker than you did, Adam. I thought, I mean, it's amusing for a little while, but I would also question, you know, it doesn't feel like a game that is designed for you to play for extended periods. And I know there's a phone app version, because I played the phone app version. I played it on both, and I would have to say it's better playing it on the computer because you don't constantly get adverts in the computer version. Whereas on the mobile phone version, do you want to see adverts? I said no. And then it moved on, and then a couple of seconds later, fucking advert in my face. No questions, you know. You're watching this advert before you can play any more of our game. The mobile version is exactly the same, except you have adverts in your face, and there's at the end of like every couple of rounds, at the end of every round, you've got a thing for the final kill where you've got to
A
tap
quick
it at the
time
right,
event.
yeah, quick time event. It's a little harder on the phone than it is on the computer. That's about it. I found the puzzles relatively easy to resolve. One thing kind of did annoy me in that every single puzzle starts out with an obvious route that is wrong.
Yeah.
As in every single time they
Okay.
dangle something in front of you as some tasty little person to kill, and you look at it and you instantly think, well, I can't kill him first. So it immediately sets you, because it's never right to kill him first. You always immediately start looking in other directions. Which, to me, if I was trying to do a puzzle game, I would occasionally have the person directly in front of you be the first required move, just so that you don't necessarily know where you're going every single time. 20 to 30 maps of always going the opposite way, actually going forward would have been a surprise. That probably would have thrown me for a loop. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. The cutscenes kind of got annoying after a while, I found.
The kill.
Yeah,
The
it's like
kills.
over and over and over again.
I'd skip them.
I think that's supposed to be the main thing of it, though, because I mean, the puzzles themselves are quite, well, very simplistic. I think the kills are supposed to be its thing, so that's not a good sign.
I could see it working on as a. I think the right it is as a mobile phone game, something where you're like standing waiting for a bus or something. You got 5 or 10 minutes to kill. That's
Or
better.
some campers.
Yes, or some campers. I can see it working in little bites, but we kind of sit down and play it for hours because we're preparing for a review. So I think it lost something from us that maybe if you were just playing it for 10, 20 minutes at a time, it wouldn't become as boring or as repetitive.
Yeah, you couldn't play it for very long. At least I couldn't play it very, very long. It very quickly got to the point where you didn't care if you got to the next puzzle or not.
Yep.
You're supposed to look at the puzzle, because obviously they get increasingly more difficult, or supposedly anyway. So the first few you're just flying through. Kill, watch your hockey mask fill up with blood, which is your progression bar or whatever, and you're like, okay, fine, whatever. Oh, look, I've got a box with a weapon in it, even though the weapons don't really do anything. They're just mildly different kill animations.
That was the other thing, is you didn't feel like you progressed when you were going through mission after mission after mission, because nothing changes, and those weapons don't change anything except give you slightly different cutscenes.
Which Adam was skipping anyway.
There isn't any real sense of progression in the game. You're just repeating the same thing ad nauseum.
Yes. Yeah, well, all this sort of leads up to something I wanted to talk about, which during looking into the game, originally when we saw the game, it was it's highly rated, I might as well say that. It's mostly positive ratings, and I thought, oh, well, we'll give it a try. I was a little confused about the timing of a Friday the 13th game. I mean, there was a Friday the 13th game more recently, Friday the 13th, the game, and we've played it, and we've played it on stream, and
it's fun.
It's fun, it's fine. Danny, no, it's not. It's Tommy Jarvis, but he did just crash.
Okay, all set.
What the fuck?
Nobody said this game was without bugs, alright? What did you do, Tommy? That game has run into legal issues. I don't know if this game is also subject to the same ones. There's a current lawsuit between Victor Miller, who wrote the first film, and the director Sean Cunningham, over who currently holds the rights. And as far as I know, Sean Cunningham currently holds the rights, but the writer is disputing that. And until that's sorted out, the Friday the 13th, the game, can't change anything or add anything or modify anything. So that game's pretty much dead. Ilphonic and Gun Media are dealing with that one. So I don't know if this game's under the same or what. I couldn't find anything to say one way or the other. But yeah, the Friday the 13th, I was very baffled. It's like, the Friday the 13th license, it's so hot right now. The Friday the 13th, that really old film franchise. I think they released one in 2009. I never saw it. Nobody saw it, apparently. It was kind of a flop, but yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I've only ever seen the first movie. I'm not a fan of horror movies or slasher movies. If they've got a really good story to them, I'll watch them. But I'm not a big fan of like horror for horror.
Horror in general, yeah.
Yeah. I did see the original one, which when I was like 13 or something.
Well, here's the interesting thing, though. The lawsuit between Miller and Cunningham. Miller wrote the first, Jason technically doesn't even show up in it. I mean, he shows up as a... Spoilers if you haven't seen the original Friday the 13th from 1979 or something, but he only shows up at the end as a child and in a dream sequence. So
Pretty
why...
sure it was the 80s, by the way.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was 1979 it was filmed, but whatever. I mean, you know, whatever. It's not like I've done any research into it or anything, but whatever. But yeah, so like... And the child doesn't show up in Friday the 13th, the game. Just the Jason who was created by completely different people. Hockey mask and all the rest of it. Because, I mean, in the second film, he doesn't have the hockey mask. In the second film, he has a bag on his head. But the Jason that everybody knows, through osmosis or whatever, like you said, you haven't actually like seen the films or anything, is hockey mask, giant machete-wielding guy. Yeah?
Yes.
And Miller has nothing to do with that. If he wrote the first one, that depiction of Jason wasn't it? The closest I suppose you could argue is anybody mentioning him by name because the child was called Jason or Pamela Voorhees.
I suppose it is well known that it is supposed to be him from the first movie, the child.
The daughter of Pamela Voorhees.
That's an exclusive.
That's a new take on it. I mean, you know, it should happen.
But the other thing is, he was a little boy. He wasn't a giant, beefy man.
Undead zombie dude.
Yeah, who he is in the subsequent movies.
And the game that the lawsuit is currently sort of hindering. But yeah, couldn't find anything to do with that hindering this. But I got a distinct impression from this game that bare minimum had actually gone into it. If you look at it as a separate entity, just as itself, as a say, like a phone app or whatever, it's probably fine, whatever. But in looking into it, I also found out about Slayaway Camp, which I passed to both of you to also view, but very late in the reviewing process. It was kind of take a look at this because, you know, we'll probably discuss it.
This Halloween, Terror has a new game. A game where you slide stuff around and kill teenagers. They thought they were safe, but they weren't. Now, they are doomed. Nothing can prepare you for the most violentest puzzle game ever made.
I've never seen anything like this.
Starring Derek Mears as Jessica.
Say, who's up for some premarital sex?
And Mark Meir as Skullface. From the maker of Bejeweled and Peggle comes the horror hit of 1984. Slayaway Camp.
I much preferred Slayaway Camp, even though it was a free in-browser game version.
Yeah. I mean, it was the same game. To be honest, there's no. Everything's the same except the name. Effectively, you've got a slight change of the characters are actually Jason, whereas in the other one, in Slayaway Camp,
it's almost
parodies of Jason.
Parody Jason. It's almost Jason. It's knockoff Jason, and even like his mother
it's legally distinct, different from Jason.
Skullface, they called him. Here's the thing though, they put a lot more effort into Slayaway Camp, and there's a deluxe in quotations version on Steam, which is like £6 or something like that. But they've put a lot more effort in. They've got. I haven't played the deluxe version, so I don't really know, but it might just be a joke, the fact that the main character is silent, but they got Mark Meir.
I'm Mark Meir. You may recognize me as Commander Shepard from the Mass Effect trilogy, or as Noel No. 2 from Baldur's Gate 2.5, Throne of Baal. I'm proud to announce that I've joined the cast of Slayaway Camp, the most bloody and terrifying game ever.
Quote, voice the main character, Skullface. In all the publicity for it, he's in it.
Yeah.
You know, hello,
He is.
I'm Mark Mayer, the voice actor of Commander Shepard, and I'm playing Skullface, and here's me at my audition, and he stood there in front of the microphone in silence with a mask on. So I don't know if he ever actually speaks in the game, but they also got one of the actors who played Jason, because I know Kane Hodder was one of the actors who played Jason, who came back for Jason the 13th, the game. He did all the bodywork with Jason. But one of the actors, not him, voices, quote, Jessica, I think her name is, in it. And in the advert for it, obviously, it's a perfect casting. This huge, deep-voiced guy playing a little girl who gives one of the references to Jason X that I'm going to make you watch shortly, because it is a ridiculous film of ridiculous proportions.
Is it bad movie worthy?
Yes, it is bad movie worthy. It is
We can watch
ridiculous.
We can watch it next time Meeks visits.
It might be
'cause
too
he'll
scary for him.
terrified.
It might be too scary for him.
Hey, you want a beer?
Or do you want to smoke some pot?
Or we can have premarital sex.
And the meme line that came out of that was, hey, let's have premarital sex and take drugs. And they have him, or Jessica, saying that, and it's just ridiculous. And it's great. But yeah, either way, it seems this game, the Friday the 13th, seems like almost a reverse Captain Spirit, in that Captain Spirit was a free game that was hyping a pay-for game that was coming out later on the same sort of engine. This is a free game that is hyping a game that's already come out, a pay-for game, using the same sort of engine. Because partway through, like, my second map or whatever, it pops up and goes, hey, you should buy Slayaway Camp. I was like, what? Why? What's that? And I look into it, and it's the exact same fucking game. Only it looks better.
I would also say that, you know, I was saying about the lack of a sense of progression.
Yeah.
Well, you level up and you get a random box and it's got a random thing in. There really isn't anything other than that. With Slayaway Camp, every time you finish a level, you get
in-game currency.
In-game currency,
yeah.
Which you can choose what you get.
Yes.
Which actually feels like more progression, because if you spot something you want, you can work towards that.
You get other killers as well.
Yeah.
In quotations, other killers. One of them being Skullface's mother, which is not Pamela Voorhees in any way legally distinct. So, you know. I also unlocked the Blob, in quotations, and various other things. But you could also unlock new kills.
Yes, yeah, you could. I
unlocked, what was it? Double shot?
Double blind or something like that, where I shoot them in the eyes twice. I'll shoot them once at each eye.
Yeah. Did you play Slayaway, Adam?
I did. In the whole 10 minutes you took the dog out.
Adam, as everybody can tell, is on the ball with this sort of thing.
I preferred the free one, you know, the other one you gave me 10 minutes ago.
The Slayaway Camp.
Yeah, that was a lot. You didn't have that silly cutscene well, I know, like, you didn't always have that cutscene in the other one, but it'd keep, you know, you would just, on this one, you'd kill someone, it'll go straight to the next one, and then do that, obviously, the quick thing, which was better, because I couldn't stand the, you know, like, watch me kill this person. No, just skip it. Let's get to the next guy. Let's finish this map. I'm bored.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, it seems bare minimum. To me, I don't understand why the game exists. Like I said before, the Friday the 13th license isn't a hugely profitable one at the moment, because again, Friday the 13th, I can only assume what happened is they saw Gun Media and Ilphonic were releasing Friday the 13th, the game, and they thought maybe, since we've already made a Friday the 13th clone style game, what if we petition to get the license, make it free, and then just keep hyping the one that we put all our effort into?
Well, I mean, it does.
I don't
feel
understand
like
why.
just a cheap copy of the parody, effectively.
Yeah, it's their game again, and a lot of, again, when I was looking through what other other people's opinions and stuff, because like I said, it is highly rated, but if you look through any of the negative ones, it's a lot of people basically saying, if you played Slayaway Camp, this is Slayaway Camp, just not as good. It's a licensed clone of their non-officially licensed clone of Friday the 13th, a puzzle game.
The thing about it is, because it's so cutesy and the whole style of it, it kind of works better as a parody than as something that's actually based on the actual, that's actually got the license.
Yes.
So it kind of works better in Slayaway Camp because.
But Slayaway Camp isn't a franchise that already is established and exists. People might not search Google for Slayaway Camp, but more people might search for Friday the 13th and say, oh, look, there's a game that came out in 2018. It's a puzzle game. That's weird. And then you start playing the game and, oh, look, there's an advert for Slayaway Camp. I'll see what that is. Oh, this looks even better. Oh, it's £6 on Steam. Cynically speaking, does it only exist to try and sell more Slayaway Camp?
That and advertising revenue.
When you got close to getting to the end of a rank on the PC version, Pamela Voorhees would pop up and say, oh, you're such a good boy, here, have some more to push you over the top. On the mobile version, it says, oh, you're such a good boy, would you like to watch an advert to get some more? And if you don't get that. You have to watch an advert to get the mother bonus or whatever.
Yes.
What a bitch.
And then if you don't, even if you keep saying no, it eventually forces you to watch adverts anyway. it just like. Well,
do you want to watch an advert? No? Well, fuck you. As of when I checked, 94% of 2,561 reviews on Steam were positive. So that's
pretty good, yeah.
That's pretty good. As usual, I went through to look through some negative ones because negative comments are always more fun than positive ones. Hooray. Once again, I didn't really find any particularly humorous ones, I suppose. We'll see if either of you agree with these. First, boring, mundane, and absolutely cliched. Nothing special. Steer clear of this game. It is simply too boring.
No. It wasn't that boring. I mean, I did get bored of it eventually, but it's not like that boring.
Okay. I mean, very basic game, if that's what you're into, held my attention for 5 minutes. It's free, and it should be, because there isn't much to it.
Yeah, go with that.
Yeah. It held my attention for about 3-4 hours, so and then that was it.
Ooh, self-burn. Those are rare. So, you remade your old game, Slayaway Camp, but with Friday the 13th themed skins? That's just weak. This is an obvious cash grab, which is why the very positive score is a complete mystery to me. ...
A review by Axeman 13.
I thought that. Do you agree or do you disagree?
It's kind of what we can clearly see. That is definitely just a reskin. Obviously, there is some money in it. I don't particularly have that much animosity for somebody trying to make a bit of money. It was only obnoxious that I found on the mobile phone thing where it was showing me adverts whether I wanted to see them or not.
Yeah.
But it is just the game with a reskin. But
yeah. So
it doesn't bother me as much as it clearly bothers him.
So, I suppose I should ask, Sisco, would you recommend Friday the 13th Killer Puzzle?
Maybe. Is if somebody's looking for a mobile phone game that they can occasionally, like on the way to work or whatever, they're sitting on a bus for 20 minutes and they're just looking for something to take their mind off the fact they're going to work, then yeah. But anybody who's going to look to play it for longer than that, I would say don't bother. Because I suppose you could put an hour in. It's free. I would definitely say don't spend any money in it unless you get really obsessed with it.
And really, really, really want to see what happens at the end.
Yeah, yeah. If you really want to see that.
Sorry.
If you really want to see that, you can just look on YouTube.
There's always YouTube. So is that a recommendation, yes or no?
It's a sort of recommendation. I suppose
You have to say either yes or no. There isn't a sort of.
technically it's a yes. And we all know that technically is the best kind of correct.
Technically a yes, Adam.
I'm going to say yeah. It's it is a game that you get bored of, but it reminds me of Voodoo games. They're mobile games, and they're just exactly the same. Like one a skipping stone, you throw it, and the further it goes, the more money you get, and then you buy strength and things like that, and you can keep doing it. And there's nothing different to it. You just keep throwing it, and you throw it further and further, and I love it. I just keep going back to it. I've got like 7 or 8 Voodoo games on my phone just to play when I'm bored. Like I've got 10 minutes. Let's throw a stone or let's throw a ball.
Right, but if you are bored, would you
yeah.
turn this one on and play this one?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think, like I said, I like the Voodoo games, so I reckon there's people out there who would love this game. And just 5 minutes here and there. Let's do a couple of rounds, kill some people. So I think it's definitely got potential to be a really good game if someone's into that type of thing. But I wouldn't play it that much. But yeah, I think it's
You
worth...
wouldn't play it, but you recommend other people.
Yeah,
would.
I played it for a whole week ish, and I played it to death. But I think someone would really enjoy it, so I recommend. Yeah, I'd say yeah.
Will you go back to it, you think?
I don't know.
I won't. I have already deleted the app.
I think I only got bored because I played it for like 3 hours straight and did those, like I said, got to New York in 3 hours, and then that was it. I'm done now. But I could probably see myself in a few days like, well, let's see how far I can get again.
Okay. Well, I would not recommend it. Simply because Slayaway Camp is out there, and there was a lot more effort put into it, a lot more humor. This, to me, really does just seem like it was a moonshot idea. They took a shot and went, let's see if we can get the Friday the 13th. Holy shit, we got the Friday the 13th license. Let's slap a Friday the 13th skin on Slayaway Camp, put it out for free, advertise Slayaway Camp. There's stupidity in this, but I wouldn't say humor. There wasn't much thought put into this, whereas Slayaway Camp clearly had a lot of thought and humor put into it. It even has a 80s metal song to go along with it called Only the Strong Survive.
Slayaway Camp is the game they wanted to make. This is the game that they felt they had to make because they got the license.
No, I would not agree with that for a second. Slayaway Camp is the game they did make. This is the game they're using to advertise it, because it's a license that people might know. Oh, I'm getting squinted at now.
I can feel the squint from here.
I'm squinting so hard I can barely see him.
But I'm right.
No, you're not.
What do you mean, no, I'm not?
No, you're not.
But I still don't think you're right.
Well.
Squinty, squinty, squinty. So, yes, that technically, and as you always point out, technically is the best. That's a recommendation for Friday the 13th, the killer puzzle. Although I still say play Slayaway Camp, it's much better.
I would recommend Slayaway Camp as well.
Anything else?
I wouldn't. Just to be awkward.
Just to be contrary. Anything else you would like to say about Friday the 13th Killer Puzzle?
No.
No. No, we've said enough. Because it's YouTube, I've been told that we have to say certain things, and I can't bring myself to say it because I would be sick. So maybe I get Adam to say it.
So say what?
That people have to like, share, and subscribe
Oh yeah.
to the video. But
yeah, go on, Adam.
I
you
just
say that.
nearly threw up in my mouth saying that. It's awful and it's horrible.
Adam can say it, and then we can mock him for being a shill.
After telling him he has to say it.
Yep.
So Adam, tell people if they like this video, they have to like, share, and subscribe it.
Go on.
And if you've enjoyed our video today, please like and share and subscribe.
You corporate shill. Sell out.
You make me sick, Adam.
I felt my soul leaving.